I want to make it clear first of all that I'm not upset that I am back here. I actually love Mayhem, you guys. You know that. Mayhem was my first home and I'm so happy to be back here. The reason I look so glum is because I failed you. At Fatality, I couldn't beat Jaden and I lost my hardcore title. It's the title I can deal with losing. I just hate the thought of him besting me. It was not a good night for me, but yet you all stood by me, and I can't thank you all enough for that. Believe me when I say the hero of wrestling is back where he belongs, and he is ready to redeem himself to be the man that you all deserve. SDC, let me be the first to say, welcome home. Let me tell you something, man. You have nothing to be ashamed about. You have the balls to call out Jaden in order to try and end him for good. You didn't have to, but you did. Because you fight for what is right, and that is the thing I respect the most about you. I, too, lost my title recently, and I was devastated at the time. I know my match wasn't as personal as yours, but it was still a tough loss. But just like you will, I picked myself up and I moved on, and now, thanks to the WIW Universe, I am the #1 contender to the WIW Championship. I came back from defeat, and so will you. Mason, I may be the hero of wrestling, but you've always been a hero to me. The reason me and you became training partners way back when is because we were so alike in so many ways. I have no doubt in my mind that at Sin City Showdown, you will blow the roof off the place and you will walk out of USA as the WIW champion. And I can't think of a more deserving person to hold it. You go win your gold, because the hero of wrestling is on a Mayhem comeback. I hope you're ready for me, people, because SDC doesn't stay down for long. I will grow for this, and hopefully, Mason, one day, it will be me and you fighting for the WIW Championship. Sorry to interrupt this little scripted reunion session. I know you were getting to the good part of your scene, but I thought I'd come out and welcome back SDC. You see, Hero, a lot has changed since you were last here. For starters, I became the WIW champion. And ever since then, I've been leading the most dominant team in all of professional wrestling. And ever since then, unlike that coward Goldberg, I run Mayhem, since he has decided he's not showing up around here. Don't worry, he'll be out of here come Sin City Showdown. And speaking of the showdown, it seems that you won the poll. Gotta say I'm not surprised, but it doesn't mean I'm impressed. The nominees to face me are people who have already face justice at my hands or are just fillers on my show. So congrats on being some random guy in a popularity contest. That won't work with me though. You see, SDC, whilst you've been away, Mason hasn't been quite like he said he has been. He talked about how he bounced back all to the top, but the truth is you never did. Since Insomnia, you defended your title once, and it ended in a DQ. And since you lost it, you've done a whole load of nothing. So let me make this perfectly clear. Just because you won over the fans doesn't mean you're gonna beat me. You finished making yourself feel better, Skeens? Good. You know, Skeens, I'm sure it is pretty easy to be comfortable when you come down to the ring night in and night out with your own little pets and let them save you every single time. But for me, I had to earn everything I got, including winning the crowd over. They respect me because unlike you, I can get the job done on my own. So you can be as confident as you like, but I waited a long time to get my hands on that title and don't think for a second that I'm going to let anyone get in my way. And since you're so confident about me and SDC being not a threat, how about a tag team match tonight? Fine by me. Since Goldberg isn't here to do his job, it looks like I'll book his main event for him. But don't expect me to be stepping in the ring until Sin City Showdown because I'm not gullible like you are. Let me remind you, Foster, you were once an unworthy champion. So I ended your pet excuse for a European title reign. And now I see an unworthy challenger, and I don't see for a second seeing a different result. Justice always wins. So don't hold on to your little fairy tale for too long because your judgment is coming, and trust me when I say you're not gonna like the verdict. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a main event to kick off tonight's show being announced with. And we are finally back here on Mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darren Jacobs. And yes, we are finally back with WIW. Welcome back to Mayhem. It feels like forever. And of course, in Universe No Time, it hasn't even been a day since we last left them. Of course, we are just a day removed from the returning pay-per-view Fatality, which didn't affect anything on this brand, but remembering, of course, in 2 weeks' time, in Las Vegas, Nevada, we will be going to the Sin City Showdown pay-per-view, a pay-per-view where most of you had an input or a say in what went down in terms of match types and opponents. And as we found out earlier, of course, you guys voted for Mason Foster as the nominee for the WIW Championship match. First person out tonight for in-ring action, it is the champ. Getting herself a warm-up matchup, it is Haley Bowen, Mayhem Women's Champion. Two-time Mayhem Women's Champion, and she's been champ for a long time now. The women's division is heating up, and of course she knows full well that her opponent is Violet for Sin City Showdown. And of course now, thanks to your votes, we also now know the stipulation. Haley Bowen will be taking on Violet inside a Falls Count Anywhere match. And that could end up literally anywhere, no countouts or disqualification, and the pin can occur at any time. So we'll have to see how that goes. Her opponent tonight, a familiar adversary, Elliot Rodgers, making her way down to the ring. It has been a long time since we've seen Rodgers look as dangerous as she has done. Right at the end of 2K18, she was starting to get a couple of wins under her belt. She was teaming with the champ not too long ago. Tonight she goes against the champ in attempts to further show what she can do. It's been a long road for Rodgers. Hasn't exactly been the cleanest of roads either. It's been a very bumpy road here in WIW for Rodgers. But she's hoping now that she can turn her form around. And what better way to do that than against the champion? We'll see what she can do. The bell rings and away we go. And look at this. Rodgers going to start us off here looking for a DDT. But the champ had that well scouted. And these two people, they know each other very well. Not only outside the ring, but they actually do know each other very well inside the ring too. They've worked very closely with each other, like I say. a couple of weeks ago, teaming with each other. And then before that, they've had a few matches with each other as well. And majority of the time, it has gone Bowen's way. But Rodgers will be hoping that 2K19 can maybe bring her a bit more luck, to hopefully get her into some winning ways. But with the form that the champ's in, that is looking very unlikely. Managing to dodge the drop kick there. Couldn't capitalize on any offense. And then, oh, look at that. Big double boot to the face of Rodgers. And Rodgers goes down. And of course, for Bowen, she needs to get good momentum coming into Sin City Showdown. We know Violet is a tough adversary, of course. Won the women's battle royal all the way back at Sudden Death, which earned her the first spot at Insomnia. So she is a dangerous threat. She couldn't beat Stables, but Stables, of course, one of the toughest women we've ever had here in WYW. And look at that. Almost saying taking out the trash there is Rodgers as she sends the champ over the top rope. Oh, now look at that. A rake to the back there. Referee doesn't see anything wrong with that. Oh, and look at that. Managing to avoid the grasp of Bowen there. But not managing to grab the pickup and drop onto the top ropes. And straight into the cover she goes. Just hoping to wrap this one up early tonight. And it's going to be a 1. And of course, that Mayhem Women's Championship match is not the only match happening in the women's division. No, sirree. As of course you've seen, well, at least I hope you've seen the constant attacks and ambushes being traded by the two most dominant women in WYW, in Keiva Kaiju, the Japanese monster, and in Sandra Piper, one of the longest reigning women's champions. Right now in a real chokehold out of that suplex. That was an impressive maneuver. Does Bowen have anything to kick out with? And she looks like she does. Worry signs for Bowen, though. She looked a little scared there. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Oh! The leg drop to the back of the head of the champion! Where did that come from? Bowen hit hard. And all of a sudden the tide turns just like that. Worry signs for Elliot Rodgers building up to that, but she managed to find the leg drop. And now look at this, she can take control here with a suplex. And she's not just done there, there's another one as well. Continuous onslaught here, and flips her through for one last variation of suplex. So yeah, as you've seen, we have, of course, not just Bowen, and we have, so we have Sandra Piper, and we have Keiva Kaiju colliding. Their match type, of course, was also revealed on pay-per-view, on my Twitter with the poll. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, be sure to follow us at The Gaming Blake, because we do a bunch of polls and stuff like we say, and we just genuinely talk WIW, and it'll keep you really fresh and updated, so be sure to join us. And the Keiva Kaiju match will be a first blood match. The first monster to bleed loses. Oh, hold on a minute. Whoa, turning the tide there after getting ambushed. Electric chair driver. And is that going to be enough? Not near enough to the ropes to break it. And Bowen takes the win. Huge win for Bowen. And she was worried for a moment there. Rodgers really switched the tide on her. But she did well to overcome it. And the Mayhem Women's Champion shows exactly why she is just that. Worry signs there. And Keiva Kaiju and Sandra Piper have felt that pain before. But a big win there for Haley Bowen. Getting the job done. A much needed victory to give her momentum heading into Sin City Showdown. And you've got to imagine Violet is backstage watching on. Not too happy with this result. But will Bowen be able to retain in Las Vegas in that massive Falls Count Anywhere match? Or will Violet be able to pull off the upset and finally get her hands on Women's Championship gold? Let's move on down the rest of the card. A solid start to proceedings here for Mayhem. We move straight on to the tag team division, and more specifically one of the newest teams on the block here at Monday Night Mayhem. Since his recent trade to Monday Night Mayhem, he's helped form a dangerous alliance here, Big Boss. We're teaming with Travis and Cashman. They are the Industry. three of the richest men in WIW. For a long time, Big Boss tried to not hide behind the riches like Travis and Cashman naturally did. He tried to do this on his own, and instead it didn't work out in his favor. But in the end, he saw the money, and he came towards it. And now these three, with their combined riches, looking to turn that into wins here if they can. Their second tag match, I believe, here in WIW. They didn't have the, in Mayhem. They didn't exactly have the greatest of starts, but for the team like the Industry, they're still pulling themselves together. Big Boss, remember, of course, having to deal with the issue of Bruiser Brad on the other brand. Of course, leaving the other brand so we could get away from him, but still ending up having to fight him. But the three Industry members ready to collide tonight. It's only two of them in action, I believe. We don't know which two yet, but the Industry, a team that have caught the attention of quite a few people. The subscribers seem to have all taken note of what the Industry is capable of. But it's now a matter of whether or not the Industry can prove their worth in the ring. We'll have to see what they can do tonight. Just the tag match tonight, nothing too special. But for these three men who are looking to prove themselves, it could mean everything. It looks like Travis and Big Boss have geared up for in-ring action. Their opponents tonight, not exactly an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination. It is Damus and Black Jesus, the former Mayhem and Fight Night Tag Team Champions, the League of Gods, making their returns to the ring tonight. They are former two-time Mayhem, no, they are former Mayhem and Fight Night Tag Team Champions. Only held one reign of each, but they did hold them at the same time. The first team to be double Tag Team Champions here in WIW. One of the most successful teams, and you probably wouldn't have expected it, to be fair. They don't always take their wrestling seriously, these two, but the Greek god Damus and the powerhouse that is Black Jesus tonight, working together to get rid of one of the newest teams on the block and prove that they're still one of the top teams in the division. As we know, we've still got in a few weeks' time, regardless of when the match is going to take place, we have the Linebacks versus Justice for the Mayhem Tag Team titles. And you've got to imagine these two are going to want to come back for the Mayhem Tag Team titles at some point and get their revenge and potentially come and reclaim their second reign as Tag Team Champions. Well, the bell rings and away we go. And it looks like Travis is going to start this one off against Damus. And this is not quite a combination we've seen that often in the past. Beautiful leg sweep there by Travis Cottrell. And for the Industry, I think this is more of a chance to prove themselves. Whether they're considering a career in the tag division, I don't know. But, I mean, there is three of them. Maybe they can expand and try and divide and conquer all the singles titles. But, to be honest, the tag team gold seems like the right idea. Assert your dominance as a team. And especially in a Mayhem tag division, which is currently being picked apart by the current champions, of course, in the Linebacks. Linebacks not in attendance tonight, but remember, of course, they won't be defending their titles at the Sin City Showdown. They, of course, will be a part of the 4-on-1 handicap match. 4 people, them two, and Lachlan and Aiden Nathaniel will be working together. The two people who will be facing for the titles later on will then work together to team up against one individual of Mort Goldberg's choosing. And if that individual loses, Mort Goldberg is fired as the general manager of Mayhem and will be replaced by someone else. And that someone, of course, will be Coach Wilson, as we found out a couple of weeks ago. Mort Goldberg hasn't been on the show since then, and we're not too sure what the situation is there. Perhaps trying to avoid any confrontation. And Big Boss is in, and if you're expecting Big Boss to have the power advantage over Black Jesus, clearly you've not seen Black Jesus compete. One of the strongest men in WIW, it has to be said. I don't think there's anyone in the roster that I have seen him fail to lift. It's been a while since he's encountered Big Boss, but he is here tonight, working with him. Big Boss just shrugging away the drop kick there and landing a vicious uppercut, backing Damus into the corner. And now sending him to his team's corner. Is he going to make a tag again? He is. Back in comes Travis. And some good tag team work early here from the Industry. And the Industry, like I say, here to prove a point. here to send a message. That's all it needs to be tonight. Whether that means a win, who knows? And I wonder if this is going to be the usual loadout with Travis and Big Boss working in tag team action, or are they going to alternate? I don't know. We're still very up in the air about what the industry are here to do, what their plans are for the future. But look at Travis here. Beautiful work there, and quickly gets back in the ring to prevent Damas from making a tag. Of course, Black Jesus, usually the workhorse of these type of matches for the League of Gods. The League of Gods usually having the strategy of, well, Black Jesus does the majority of the work, heavy lifting, takes the punches, and then Damas will be usually the one to finish the job. And it looks like Damas is going to try and get that strategy back in here. And there's the tag made. And look at Damas looking for a headbutt using Damas's head. And these two playing to the crowd, the fan favorites, continuing to be just that. And Black Jesus and Damas showing exactly why they were the first two people to hold both tag team titles at the same time, of course, winning both of them at Insomnia. A huge matchup that led to the League of Gods pulling off probably the biggest upset of the night. As much as the fans love to see them win, I don't think anyone was expecting them to overcome the team of the Wolfpack on that night, but they managed to pull it off. And Damas and Black Jesus right now under a lot of pressure from the industry. Michinoku driver from Travis. And Travis, of course, not shy of gold himself. Former television champion, although that was quite some time ago now. And it seems almost like a distant memory. Travis hunting more gold, though. And I'm sure that's exactly why he's aligned himself with the industry. Travis now. That is one hell of a jump, whatever he's trying to do. Oh, and he connects with it just about. Travis getting enough on there. And what the hell is this? Oh my god! Wait! Hang on, he's in the ring! Why is Cashman in the ring? Surely this is not legal! Look at this! Triple powerbomb! The industry! What the ref not to call disqualification for that? The ref doesn't call disqualification! Damas has to break it up! What was that? Have they paid off the referee or something? What was that, ref? How are you not calling disqualification on that? Cashman invading the ring to help perform a triple powerbomb to Black Jesus, and the referee knows nothing of it. The referee just completely ignored the fact of what's just happened. Well, Big Boss and Travis in control. Damas and Black Jesus now trying to hang on, find some life in this match. But Jesus is not in good shape. He needs something drastic now to get him in control. And maybe this could be the move that does with an air raid siren. Big Black Jesus, we know how powerful he is in the ring. He's determined to prove it here tonight. And look at the strength on display. The crowd on their feet as he squats with the tiny cruiserweight in the air of Travis Cottrell. And now Travis is in a lot of trouble. The League of Gods now turning the tides enough to maybe steal this. Spinning powerbomb and bridges straight into the cover. But quick as anything, Big Boss is there. And the tides are turning in this match again. But now look at this. Cashman once again causing a bit more havoc. And once again the referee just completely ignoring the fact that a chair has been brought into the ring. Oh my god, not another one! Not another one! Spinning powerbomb! For a second time! But a second time, Big Boss comes to the rescue. And look at Jesus playing to the crowd. He has just completely turned the tide on Travis Cottrell in the industry. And now Travis in a lot of trouble here. Oh, his head ricocheting off the chair there. And they want to be careful where they're landing right now with that dangerous chair in play. Big Boss desperately calling for a tag here. But right now, Black Jesus has just completely turned the tide. Referee getting the chair out of the way finally. It took him long enough to do that, looking for another air raid siren neck breaker. And Travis is taken down again. Travis Cottrell, after such a promising start, has lost all his momentum in this match. And Black Jesus has just shown why he is such a dominant force. Looking for a third spinning powerbomb. If he can scoop him up. Travis in trouble. Spinning powerbomb, number 3. But once again, Big Boss in to make the save. And once again, Damas there to take him out of the equation. Beautifully done. And now Black Jesus slamming him down. The referee has been very lenient with all the interferences tonight. He's even let Cashman come in straight up to deal the damage. And now Jesus losing the hold there. And things are getting really intense. Wait, hold on a minute. Oh! Everyone just charging in the ring at once. Big Boss cleaning up the scraps. And now Travis striking away on the League of Gods here. All of a sudden, all hell has broken out. Trading strikes back and forth. Rolls him up though. Quick roll up. And it's... Wait, what the hell? What? What the hell was that? Fast count. The referee with a blatant fast count. What was that? The referee counts to 3 quicker than freaking most people can count to 1. You can hear the crowd chant 1 and then it was over. I can't believe it, but the industry have just won, and that has got to be some of the most questionable refereeing I've ever seen. First, not ending the match in DQ after Cashman gets involved, but then even following that, they don't even want to step further by continuing on with the match and then counting the fast count. Well, I have absolutely no idea why that just happened or what the hell is going on, but the industry have just walked away with the win, and I guess that's the first one in the books for them. I have no idea what's just happened. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Well, that was really unexpected, but the industry are on the board here in Mayhem regardless. I'm not too sure about that one. Bit of questionable refereeing there if you ask me. Nonetheless, we move on to this man, the natural born thriller, the European champion, Sylar Jordan. I don't think we have seen a rookie rise up the ranks quite as quickly as Sylar Jordan has in his first 2 months in the company. He has shot himself up to the European champion, and of course he will have his first title defense in his home country of the United States of America, where he will be facing Rage in a tables match. He's already came out and said on social media that he knows it's going to be a struggle putting through Rage in putting Rage through a table is going to be one of the toughest tasks he's going to have to do, but that's the job. And at his home country, I'm sure he'll have all the confidence in the world. The natural born thriller. The men who have held the European champion have gone on to do great things in WIW, and he'll be hoping to do the same. It's amazing how quickly he rises to the top of WIW, but it's his first title defense coming up that he has to worry about. But for tonight, it's another warm-up match, and the general manager, I think, has been smart with this picking, giving him someone who is very much in similar territory to Rage. Of course, at one point in time, was actually his tag team partner. And look at him coming in through the crowd here. Almost kind of like Justice. It is the Dragon, Tyson Jackson, making his return here on 2K19. And he is taking on the European champion tonight. A win, of course, will go a hell of a long way into securing himself in the future. Has never been a European champion, but he has targeted that on occasions, yet to find the ingredients needed to get it. But the Dragon looking very confident here tonight, an unusually confident Tyson Jackson making his way down through the crowd. We'll see if that confidence shines through in in-ring action here tonight. The bell rings, and away we go, and we'll see what these two have in store for us. Oh, look at that, a big running knee to start. Didn't quite get him off his feet. Just trying to get him off his feet there. Continuous running knees. Gets caught with a 3rd attempt, and into a face buster from the Dragon. Tyson Jackson, a very dominant force. Hasn't exactly had much success in terms of title attempts, but he has shown his strength. In particular, had the fastest match in Insomnia's history so far against Bradley Regan, or Original Brad, whichever you wish to call him, absolutely destroyed him there. And we haven't seen much of Brad since that time. Brad, of course, turning to a much darker side at that time as well, and the Dragon showed him that there is no better dark side fighter than himself. And right now, he's proving that here against the champion he has on the back ropes here. And he's using a full head of steam here to gain some control. A big knee lift there by the Dragon. And Tyson Jackson in good form to start this one off. Tyson Jackson, one of the longest serving members of WIW, took quite a brief period, well, took a big period of absence from WIW at the end of Season 1. But when he made his return at Insomnia, he has looked dangerous since then. Hasn't had a title opportunity since then, but he has shown exactly why he was a top dude and why WIW was so eager to sign him back. And right now, Jordan getting met with a bunch of strikes. And the Dragon in full control. Siler Jordan, of course, still relatively new to the WIW scene, but we have seen plenty of him. And we've seen enough of him to know how good this man really is. Still struggling, though, to get Jackson off his feet. Jackson stays standing and straight into a code breaker. And already looking for the Dragon's crash to pull off the upset. Dragon's crash! Champ is down already with the Dragon's crash. And into the cover. Is that enough to knock off Siler Jordan? Jordan gets the shoulder up. And worry signs very early on here as the Dragon asserts early dominance. Siler Jordan on the back foot, and he can't afford any losses coming into his first title defense, planting him down there into the cover, and it's only a 1. And Siler Jordan now trying to turn the tides if he can. What's Jordan thinking from here? Perhaps looking for another running knee. And went for a much bigger knee that time, but well sidestepped by the Dragon. And now, what a pile driver flipping through. And Siler Jordan, the European champion now, calling upon the support of the crowd to a bit of a mixed reaction there, looking at the responses. And now Siler Jordan trying to fire himself up in this match, trying to keep himself alive. He's struggled so far, but now trying to find some kind of life in this match. The Dragon dodged it once. Can he dodge it again? No, he can't. And he is down into the cover. Is this going to be enough to get rid of the Dragon? It is. Siler Jordan had to fight hard to get that one back, but he got it. And the Dragon falls. Very well done there by the European champion, Siler Jordan. And the Dragon just staring on here. What's the Dragon? Look at this. A sign of respect from the Dragon, Tyson Jackson. And I don't think I saw that coming. But Siler Jordan will take it, and the European champion gets a huge win and momentum heading into pay-per-view. No. Wait a second, Rage! Rage from behind! Getting the jump on the man he'll face at pay-per-view. And Siler Jordan's already gone for a tough battle. And he's taking a lot of punishment. Look at this. Trying to retreat, trying to get out of harm's way. He's giving himself enough breathing room. Big strike and another one. But he can't take him down. Look, Rage is unfazed by all this. And Rage now just unloading on the champion. And an uppercut for good measure. Well, I knew that things were getting intense between these two, but it looks like Rage taking it a whole nother level further now. No, a chair. Jordan back to his feet, but he might not want to get up. Chair shot right to the face. And the referee just standing there watching. He's clearly got himself involved a bit too much tonight, deciding he doesn't want to get involved in this one. But Rage beating the living hell out of Siler Jordan to give him the upper hand coming into the Sin City Showdown. Remember, these two will face off, and their stipulation was a tables match. Those two will face in a tables match, and these two are going absolutely nuts right now. Jordan, after a grueling match, getting beaten down badly. And look at this. This is just unacceptable, the level of beatdown. Is the referee actually going to do anything, or is he going to get involved, or at least help the man? Look at him, he's getting beaten, and the beatdown continues, and now the referee finally pleads. but the referee quickly backs away. And a medical assistance might be needed now as he walks away. Wait, no, no! He's not done just yet! Looking to give a demonstration of what to expect when we get to the Sin City Showdown. SaLgames, pretty much defenseless. He's already fought tonight. He is exhausted and he's been beaten down to the max. And I don't think there's anything he's going to be able to do about this. Rage now with a chokeslam through the table. And if that happens again at the Sin City Showdown, we will be crowning a new Revolution, a European champion, excuse me. Rage with an absolute beatdown on the current European champion, an absolute ambush to give himself the mental edge coming into pay-per-view. That's exactly what he was trying to do, whilst also getting a little bit of damage towards the champion. Well, when these two collide in this tables match, how is this going to turn out? Will SaLgames be able to win his first title defense and defeat the monster? Or will Rage just prove to be too much of a challenge for him? Let's move on now, the rest of the card. Well, it looks like ambushes are continuing and the walls are coming out from all angles as we head towards closer and closer Sin City Showdown. And another man who will be stepping up at Sin City Showdown is our next entry. Down to the ring, and it was of course the #1 contender to the Cruiserweight Championship, James Rowley. The man himself is here, former Cruiserweight champion, looking to show himself early to... But the champ, wait on a minute, the champ's already out here, and I don't think James Rowley is seeing that. BJ Kids chasing down Rowley. Rowley none the wiser as he dances down to the ring and gets hit in the back of the head with the title. Well, Rowley ready for action tonight, but looks like the referee telling him to get in the ring. I don't think this was the scheduled match for tonight, but BJ Kids taking it upon himself to let the champion know that he's not going to get away with it easy. Remember, as voted by you, these two will face off in a 2 out of 3 Falls Count Anywhere match at the Sin City Showdown. But BJ Kids sending a fair warning to the champion that he has to the contender that he has no intention of dropping the belt. And this is exactly the dirty side that we have seen of him as of late. And once again, it is coming out into fruition, just stomping away on an unexpected Rowley. And BJ Kidd sends a huge message to his contender. Well, that match went a little shorter than expected. And that leads us in to tonight's main event. A tag team match. And more specifically, the returning match for this man, who you can still see the slight disappointment on that man's face. It is the hero of wrestling, SDC. A man who came out earlier tonight to display a really heartfelt speech about how he's ready to fight his way back up the mountain. He knows how embarrassing that loss was. Not the fact that he's back on Mayhem. He's happy to be back on Mayhem. For him, it was a matter of pride. He wanted to beat his long-term rival, and once again, Jaden manages to come out over on top. But for SDC, he has to move past that now. He can't leave that. He can't let that overshadow him. He can't let that determine what he's going to do from now on. Tonight, though, he's going straight into the ring with the biggest names in Mayhem, teaming with Mason Foster, the #1 contender to the WIW Championship, to take on Lachlan and Nadine Nathaniel of Justice. I'm sure Schemes will be in attendance at ringside. The hero of wrestling and Mason Foster, a very noted history together, former training partners. Well, guess when they were on the Mayhem brand, they might still be training partners. They still have a very strong relationship, of course. You'll remember, of course, back at Insomnia when these two were 3 members of a triple threat. The other was Jaden. And unfortunately, SDC and Jaden could not conquer the European champion at the time of Mason Foster. And a lot has changed since then. Mason Foster, of course, losing the championship to SaLgames, and has now shot himself up all the way in the rankings to a WIW Championship shot. Yes, as voted by you, your new #1 contender to the WIW Championship at the Sin City Showdown. It is the Welsh Dragon, Mason Foster. He is here, he is in the building, and he is hoping to make an instant impact here. A title that he has been chasing ever since he arrived here in WIW. He has managed to pick up the European Championship on the way, but it is a title that he has been after his whole career, and he is finally looking to get his hands on it in 2 weeks' time at the Sin City Showdown. We'll have to see if he actually can pick it up. A huge opportunity for both of these men here tonight to make the stamp known and to manage to walk away to win over the Justice team. Justice, of course, didn't warm up themselves, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But Mason Foster, a 2-time and longest reigning European champion, and thanks to your votes, the fan favorite coming in to WIW Sin City Showdown's main event, as he'll be clashing with Skeens. Skeens, of course, also been talking a lot of on social media, not just about Foster, but just in general. And of course, Mason and SDC are here. Let's bring down the WIW champion and the team that will step up tonight. Lachlan and AD Nathaniel, otherwise known as Justice. The Justice movement has grown so much in 2K18, and now in 2K19 will be looking to do the exact same thing. Lachlan and AD Nathaniel, no stranger to having to deal with Mason Foster, as is Skeens himself. Of course, you'll remember, Skeens actually took the championship, the European Championship, to end Mason's first reign as champion. Mason did eventually win it back, but he won it from Jax Wolf. Brad Skeens losing it in an 8-man match. That was how much he had to go through in an 8-pack challenge. That's how much the general manager had to put him through to get him off the title. And the reason the general manager wanted him off the title at the time, I don't know. But well, Brad Skeens has definitely not been a fan favorite since. Brad Skeens lately has been having some choice words for Mr. Money in the Bank, Franco the Madman Ricky. Of course, Ricky down on the developmental brand. Have no idea what he's going to do yet with the briefcase. But I think Brad Skeens is making his choice a little easier. But as you can see with the 2 men next to him, he is going to be a hard target to conquer here. And the Justice team are ready to go for what I can already tell is going to be one huge main event. The bell rings, and away we go. We'll see what these 2 teams can produce. And Lachlan straight out the gate, getting the job done. Lachlan and AD Nathaniel, of course, have been tag teaming for a while now. And as a deal was struck between the linebacks to work with them at the pay-per-view, which we'll get to, of course, they are now, I guess, the #1 contenders for the Mayhem tag team titles. That's going to be interesting. The 2 teams such as Linebacks and Justice, although they'll have to work together at this pay-per-view, I'm sure they won't be too friendly when the titles are on the line. Big cross-body as Mason Foster enters the match early. And some early tag team work between Foster and SDC. Mason, of course, as you can see, straight going for the legs. We've seen Mason doing a lot of that recently, targeting the legs in order to better lock in the submission at the end. Look at this, Mason Foster showing off early here, much to this disapproval of the watching WIW champion. And Brad Skeens, of course, knows that Mason Foster brings, but usually when they collide, we know which way it goes. However, Mason Foster has beaten the champ. It's not as if he doesn't know how. Big clothesline there. So it's a big opportunity for Mason to finally get the title he's been seeking. Oh my god, look at this. Skeens already pulling in a chair, and the referee we've already seen not being exactly the fairest of people here tonight. And look at this with the distraction. Oh, went for a chair shot. Misses. And gets it out of the way before the ref turns around. And teamwork there from Justice. But in the end, Mason Foster able to evade the chair shot, but unable to capitalize on any type of momentum. Trying to spin around and make a tag to SDC. Couldn't do it. And now Foster going to get him in the corner, try and get him back in if he can. But no, prevented, and a cheap shot to SDC as well in the process. Lachlan does very well there, taking out 2 for the price of 1. Tags made. In comes the powerhouse Lachlan tagging in AD Nathaniel with an elbow drop to the back. Justice, of course, very lethal team. Very highly respected team here. Not for what they do in the ring, but the fact that they get the job done. Of course, Lachlan and AD Nathaniel, both hardcore champions of the past. Look at this! Wrenching away on the leg here. Foster got hardly anywhere to go, but uses his spare leg to just flick the eyes and get himself out of trouble. And Foster, I'm sure he'll be expecting a lot of interference from the Justice movement on the outside of the ring in their match. But Mason Foster is used to dealing with a big being the underdog, and I'm sure he'll be the underdog coming into this matchup. But he's the underdog that the fans want to see. Will he be able to get the job done? Tag is made again. And now SDC coming in. Oh, God! Shot to the back of the leg. And Mason continuing to help work on the leg, as in comes the hero of wrestling once again. The hero of wrestling with a point to prove, heading back here to Mayhem. His first hit in Mayhem wasn't too successful, but it wasn't too bad ever. Of course, there was at one point a time where SDC won a match in 6 seconds. That was his very first match here in Mayhem. And we'll have to see what happens from there. And AD Nathaniel just stomping away on the back of the legs there in the corner, but well scouted by SDC and prevents it. And now look at this. Scooping him up, showing off the strength there into the slam. And now trying to crawl away to make a tag. Saw that coming, prevented it, and just tosses him over his head. Not even a run-up needed. And SDC on the back burner. A lot of trouble here for this team. SDC trying to fight it off now. Trying to provide something. There's a knee, but AD Nathaniel doesn't fall. Wasn't quite the full kryptonite knee, but the knee strike should have done some damage, and AD Nathaniel acts unfazed. And the tag is made. In comes Lachlan, and a big shot to the gut. Several devastating moves that they offer, one of which being the Justice Kick, probably the most lethal individual move that the Justice team have. Of course, Brad Skeen's vicious spear from out of nowhere can literally be hit at any time. Doesn't exactly always get the right momentum on it or a big enough run-up, but it proves to be a very effective move, and it's helped keep him the championship for as long as it has. So there's no reason to doubt it just yet. SDC being picked up on the shoulders, and SDC managing to evade. Now, look at this. Might have been lining up for the kryptonite knee in the corner, but getting distracted by the WYW champion. And gets planted down with a Michinoku driver. Justice to the much disapproval of the crowd. Backing SDC into the corner here. Oh, look at that. Just a slap across the face. A cheap slap there. Oh, what's he doing? Look at this. Oh, no. I know what he's going for. Oh! Double knees to the ribs of SDC in the corner. And look at the smile on their face. He could easily go for the cover here. I'm not sure he wants to. And Brad Skeens, you can see, just talking it through, deciding what they're going to do. What's the approach here? He is going to go for the cover. He might have taken a little bit too long there to decide what he wants to do. And that affects the count, as it's a 2 count. I guess maybe hoping he was going to kick out there. Lachlan and AD Nathaniel looking very impressive tonight. Mason Foster and SDC have had their moments, but they haven't been able to get any solid offense going. Once again, a counter, this time by Lachlan, and he sends him back into his corner. Could be looking for that lethal tag team move potentially at some point, the Injustice. A very devastating move in WIW. The lethal inject, it used to be called the Executioner. Looking to land that if he can. Now, of course, called the Lethal Injection. And SDC, of course, knows a thing or two about Injustice. His most trusted move, called the Injustice, as well as the Kryptonite Knee. A man who calls himself the hero fighting for justice. But Justice, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. Big kick to the gut. What's this? Look at this. Oh, and a powerbomb. Planting down SDC, but SDC gets the shoulder up anyway. SDC not going down without a fight, but he hasn't put up much fight. AD Nathaniel making the tag, and a big double shoulder tackle. Mason desperately needs to get in the ring now, but look at this. Lachlan being separated by Aiden Nathaniel prevents SDC from striking him, and then hits him with a strike of his own. Now look at this. Camel clutch applied. We know SDC quite a bit of a submissionist himself with that Dragon Sleeper he's developed. Same with Mason Foster, in fact. Maybe they taught each other the move. But SDC having a fight on here. And this is the heart we've seen from the hero of wrestling a million times over. And now look at this. Flips it straight in. How did this come about? Look at this. Injustice. Injustice. Brad Skeens distracting the referee, but it's not going to stop the cover. And it won't stop Aiden Nathaniel from intervening. And it won't stop SDC and Mason Foster double teaming on him here. Look at this. Looking for an electric chair. Slamming him down. Using the moves of the Mayhem Women's Champion, and SDC is hyped up. And in a bad spot is Skeens and the Justice Movement. Skeens is not happy, but SDC, the hero of wrestling, showing that famous heart that I was talking about just there. Beautiful combination. And now look at this. Oh my goodness. Super kick. And he falls onto the cover. And Aiden Nathaniel had to come to the rescue, but only to be met with a knee to the jaw himself. Rolls out of harm's way, and Mason Foster helping him out there to do so. Counter there, and now can he capitalize? Look at this, looking for the Dragon Sleeper, and his partner's down. I think SDC's got this. He's done it. Not much intervention needed from Mason Foster tonight, but SDC, the hero of wrestling, and Mason Foster counter the Justice team tonight. All the shenanigans they tried to pull off was to no avail. SDC and Mason Foster get the job done, and the crowd go wild for a huge main event, well contested, but in the end the fan favorite team gets the job done, and a huge victory giving Mason momentum heading into Sin City Showdown, and a huge bounce back for the hero of wrestling, who of course now has a point to prove for the rest of Season 2, but it's a huge return to Mayhem. He manages to conquer Justice, and I can't imagine that's leaving Skeens or the Justice team too happy at all. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up tonight's amazing show. I hope you enjoyed the first Mayhem back. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts and feelings on tonight's show, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.